Feminine hygiene is becoming a really popular topic on social media, and I actually like that because I feel like growing up, feminine hygiene was so taboo. It was something that wasn't spoken about. It was something that everybody should just knew, and you were supposed to assume a lot of stuff. And though there are a lot of stuff on social media telling you what you should use, what you shouldn't use, I also want to talk to you about things that can affect you that aren't exactly connected, or you may not think is connected to feminine hygiene, or some of the things I've heard about on social media that actually aren't good for your feminine hygiene, but they're promoted to be good for your feminine hygiene. So we're going to get right into it. First, starting out strong, cranberry juice. I know everybody's like, what are you talking about? So don't get me wrong, cranberries are good for down there as far as, helping build good bacteria, helping with UTIs, different things like that. But they're talking about real cranberry juice, like pressed out cranberry juice. They're not talking about that cocktail juice that you be getting from the grocery store most of the time. I hear or see a lot of women post up, talk about drinking my cranberry juice for good feminine hygiene or different things like that. And they're drinking some juice with all this, it's a cocktail juice with all this sugar. It's kind of no real difference, honestly and truly, sometimes from you drinking a fruit punch and being like, oh, I'm drinking fruits. Like, oh, I'm drinking cherries and I'm drinking pineapples and I'm drinking... What you have to understand is once you start adding all of these sugars and all these other components to it, it kind of loses its health values to it. So I definitely tell people, if you're drinking all this cocktail juice, all this cranberry juice, most of the time that's from like the average grocery store. Some grocery stores do have pure cranberry juice, but it's more so at like a Whole Foods or like a Market or something like that. I say that to say cranberry juice from cranberry cocktail juice is actually not good for down there, your feminine hygiene. It's just juice. It's really just juice. So I see a lot of people make posts about that. It's not real. It's not really gonna help you. You will be better off just taking a shot, honestly, of just a regular cranberry juice. Disclaimer, if you've ever had the real cranberry juice, it's very, very, very tart. You definitely can taste the difference. It's very tart, but you'll be better off taking like a little shot of that than drinking a whole cup of some cocktail juice. Now, staying with the drink category, this is one that isn't directly correlated, but it definitely can affect it. And we're talking about the lattes, the iced coffees, all that, the Dunkin' orders, the Starbucks orders, all those things. Like I said before, when I mentioned with the cocktail juice, all those sugars. Now, don't get me wrong. If you go to Dunkin', Starbucks, your local coffee shop once, maybe twice a week, okay. I'm talking about those people who go consistently 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for some of y'all times a week. These things have so much sugar that you don't even understand. Like regular, like you get like a latte, let's say an iced mocha latte, right? I like iced mocha lattes. You get like a mocha latte from Starbucks or something like that. Off the top, right, you get a grande, which is a medium. Off the top, that thing is already like 45 grams of sugar by itself. Like a lot of those things are already like 40-45 grams of sugar, which is already a lot. But then think about it, we like customizing our drinks, so we add the caramel, we add the this, we add the cold foam, we add all this other stuff. By the time you actually drink your drink, that's like, for some people, honestly, if you like it really, really sweet, y'all know who y'all are. Well, look, we know who we are. That's almost sometimes 100 grams of sugar. Like, that's not something that should be consumed on a consistent basis because, like I said before, all those sugars are not good for down there. You have to understand, similar to your body, similar to you, your vaginal area is a living, breathing thing. It does not, similar to your body is not good on a whole bunch of sugar. It's not good on a whole bunch of sugar. So you should not be putting a whole bunch of sugar inside of your body on a consistent basis. So like I said, those lattes, all those other things are not good on a consistent basis when it does come to your vaginal area. Now, another thing, right? So I know a lot of people, a lot of ladies, we like the little cute lace underwear, all those kind of cute underwear. It's not that good for you. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, similar to the Starbucks drinks. If you want to wear them 1 to 2, all right, yeah. But do not wear those things consistently. The thing that messes it up is because a lot of those synthetic fibers harbor a lot of bacteria, and a lot of them like things such as body oils and moisturizers and different things like that, and it traps it inside of there. And like I said before, your vaginal area is a living, breathing thing. It needs space to breathe. It needs to be able to breathe, and it's not able to breathe. So all that bacteria is just trapped in there. That's like, kind of think about somebody who got stank breath and they're wearing a mask. It's just going back on them. It's just going back on them. It can't even breathe. It can't even be let out. So similar to that, a lot of those synthetic fibers, you know, lace underwear, different things like that, they are not good for you to wear on a consistent basis, and they can lead to things such as UTIs and just a whole, you know, multitude of things, from yeast infections and different things like that, just because it's not able to breathe. It needs air, it needs a pathway to breathe, and all it does is trap in all that stuff. And especially for the ladies that use the body oils and heavy creams and different things like that, it traps all of that in there, and it stays inside of there. And it also leads to things such as ingrowns. The friction of that kind of underwear often leads to things as ingrown, so don't not do that. Now, another popular thing, I see a lot of the ladies talk about the summer Eaves, and different things like that. Stop the Vagisil. Stop with all these intimate body washes. The reason why I say this is because, first and foremost, I'm against, and you should be against, anything with a scent. You should not be using scented wipes. You should not be using scented tampons. You should not be using anything with a scent down there. The reason is, it's not supposed to smell like that. Right? You using a peaches and berries and cream. That's not peaches and berries and cream. It's not supposed to smell like that. That's a big thing that I've had to learn as far as when I grew up and just talking to other women. It's like, your healthy smell is different from everybody else's healthy smell. That's another thing too. Like, you're not supposed to, it's not an orderly line or like, oh yeah, that's a healthy one, it smells like this. Like, don't get me wrong, you're not supposed to have a putrid smell or a putrid odor, but at the same time, you have to understand it's a bodily fluid, so it's going to have a bodily fluid smell. It does not mean it's going to be a disgusting smell, but it's the same thing as, like, you go over somebody's house, for example, right? You go over somebody's house, and a lot of times the first time you go over their house, you'll notice it has a smell. It doesn't have to be a nasty smell, but it's a different smell than your house. Similar to with your body. So you should not be trying to mimic other people's smells with these summer Eaves and all these creams and different things like that with all these fruity type of scents. Another thing is, a lot of these different things are kind of like odor blocker. Sorry. A lot of them even say it on there. So what you're telling me is all it's doing is blocking the odor. So you have a problem down there. It probably needs to get fixed, and that's your body's signal of telling you something is wrong. Your body understands something is wrong, is trying to get it out to you. Smell this. Smell this. That we need to get this fixed. And what you said, oh no, let me just put on this Vagisil. Oh no, let me just put on this Summer Eves. You fine. You don't need nothing. You don't need nothing. And it's gonna get worse. I say that to say a lot of those things, all they're trying to do is mask the smell. And then also, if you're not aware, you should not be putting anything up there. No douching, no nothing like that. So you're telling me if this product is not supposed to be used up there in that area, but it's supposedly somehow going to help it if you seriously have a problem. Like, I'm not a fan of intimate washes. I'm not a fan of, things that are... Because a lot of those things also are harsh. They have harsh chemicals inside of them. Even if they try to promote themselves as being natural, a lot of those things do have harsh chemicals inside of them. A lot of those things do have, like I said, the scents, the fragrances, all those other things. So I definitely do not recommend. I know that's a popular thing, and people always have their debates about it. Oh, Vagisil is better than Summer Eves. Summer Eves is better than Honey Pot. All this... I'm telling you, all those scented fragrance wipes, all those other stuff, no. Like, I personally and truly don't even want to, not like that, but like that, buy from a company that sells scented wipes. Because they love to promote sometimes the unscented ones. But it's like, if you understand as a company, right, you're supposed to be for women, and you understand as a company that fragrance wipes aren't good for down there, why are you also promoting those? So that means you really don't care about women's health. You're just trying to sell something. I digress. Another thing, talking about, like smelling good, different things like that. Bath bombs. I know a lot of people use bath bombs. They like bath bombs. Those are not good as well. A lot of those have scents. A lot of those have fragrances. And especially when you're sitting in the bath, you're soaking that stuff in. Like, that thing is literally soaking inside of that area. So that is something else that you should not. I stay away from bath bombs completely. I haven't even went... They might have all natural. I don't even know if they have like all natural bath bombs. I'm gonna be honest with you. Once I found out about that, and it makes sense once you think about it, but once I found out about that, I just stopped using them completely. I never was like a big bath bomb girl anyway, but just now I'm like very much so against them. Like, don't buy them for me. I don't want them. I don't want to see them. None of that. And it makes sense because you're not supposed to use fragrances and all the other stuff, and you're sitting in all those chemicals. And a lot of those, let's just be honest, are usually cheap too. Like, they're made with just a rock of anything, and it's just like you're really just sitting in that butt naked. just sitting. Doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good. And another thing, when we're talking about trendy things, so I see them all over TikTok. I tried them myself. It's no shade. But a lot of those like popular body washes, right? So they have the Natrium, they have the Sautier, they have so many type of popular body washes they'll tell you that help you for all these other things. But you're not supposed to use them for down there if you are not aware. Those things are just for your body. Do not use those in your intimate areas. Those things should be used on, you know, the rest of your body. Because like I said, a lot of those have fragrances. They have a lot of chemicals, different things inside of them. And you have to understand that it's very sensitive down there. So I honestly and truly don't even use the same, just in general though, I do not use the same soap that I use for my body that I use for my intimate areas, for the simple fact that it's just, your skin could take a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Your skin is a little rougher. Your skin it's not, it doesn't have the components that has down there. So I definitely recommend people to have 2 different soaps, one that you use for your body and then one that you of course use for your intimate area. Now, I talked to y'all a lot about what not to use, what not to do, and I know you're probably like, so girl, what should we be doing? So here are some of the things that you should be doing that do help with your vaginal area. First and foremost, I did recently just talk about the soaps, where I do not use those type of popular soaps, different things like that. I do not recommend those. But one thing I do recommend is to use like a baby soap. I really love the unscented Baby Dove soap because you have to think about it. Baby soaps are meant for babies. They're meant for delicate individuals, the most delicate individuals that are, you know, known to us. I say that to say they're not made with such harsh chemicals. They're made for sensitive areas, for sensitive people. So it's better to use down there. And of course, like I said, unscented. But yeah, I use the baby soap, the Baby Dove soap. It's great for intimate areas. I definitely recommend anyone to use it if you're trying to get into like soaps and, you get what I'm saying, like you want to have like I said before, as you should have, let me say, a different soap that you use for your body. And I only use it for down there, so it lasts pretty long as well because you're only using it for one area. So there's that. And then, like I said, do not use the bath bombs. The bath bombs are not good for you, different things like that. But one thing I do recommend to put in your bath is a little bit of apple cider vinegar. I personally, maybe just because of how I am, I try to use like what is it? Definitely the one that comes in a glass bottle, contrary to the one that comes in a plastic bottle. But what is the one? You guys know what I'm talking about. I wish I had the name of it. It's the yellow and the red one. It has like an ant on there or something like that. Yeah, that's the one I try to use. But just put a couple capfuls inside of your bath water. That's very good for helping balance your pH. Apple cider vinegar is good for doing that. Don't put too much in there, of course, but it's very good for balancing your pH. So I definitely recommend that. And then also talking about, you know, the apple cider vinegar and the components of it. Apple cider vinegar is just, you know, fermented. Fermentation is very good for your gut bacteria, different things like that, which is why it leads into your vaginal area, in a sense. Not with putting it in your bath water, but just with consuming things. And the reason why I brought that up is another good thing are probiotics. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with those, but basically probiotics help with like gut and digestion. Because if you do not have proper gut and digestion, it leads, because you have to think about it, kind of like the trail of a body, how a body goes, but oftentimes what you eat and what you consume is heavily affected by your vaginal area too, which is why I said different things like the Starbucks drinks, the heavily, you know, sugar intake of the cocktail, different things. You consume it first and it goes in your digestive area, and that's how it affects your feminine parts, essentially, right? Not too much to a T, but essentially that's how it do it. I say that to say probiotics are good for you because they help digestion, so they help down there. So probiotics I would definitely recommend are, you could take a supplement as a probiotic, or I like kombuchas. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of those before. They've been going very viral on TikTok because they also do help with just like kind of like weight loss in a sense. Google it yourself because I don't want to get too much into that, but it kind of does because it helps with digestion. It helps with different things such as just making sure the body is all the way, you get what I'm saying, digestive, and the components of it are working well together. But like I said, there's different things like kimchi, which is like this Korean fermented type of cabbage, I think. I don't know, but I like that. Yogurts are very good for that, but you definitely could just search up probiotic rich foods. So consuming probiotics are very good for your vaginal area. That's something I definitely recommend. And like I said before, trying to limit the intake of foods that aren't good for you. So the fatty foods, the sugary foods, different things like that. Like I said before, just because you don't use that thing in that specific intimate area does not mean it can't affect that thing in an intimate area. So a lot of times people may say, well, I'm washing with the, you know, the baby soap, I am drinking water, I am, you know what I'm saying, taking apple cider vinegar baths, what's going on? But it's like you're eating McDonald's every single day. You're eating Burger King every single day. Like, you're eating all these fast foods and all these fatty foods and different things like that. So that can have a bad effect on your vaginal area. So that's something else that I would not recommend. And it's something just to be aware of course. Now, I did mention before the lace underwear, the synthetic fiber underwear is not good. So you're probably already like, so what underwear should we be wearing, girl? Wear cotton underwear. Cotton underwear is very good because it's a breathable material, so it allows that area to breathe, and it's less likely to trap in moisture and just to trap in anything that you put down there. Like I said, the oils, and just different kinds of, you know, heavy moisturizers and heavy creams and different things like that. So cotton is the best underwear to wear. And even sometimes too, even if it is like a lace underwear or something like that, the underwear material of itself, I try to make sure the area where, you know, your body, your feminine parts are going on, that little, you know, that little tiny little area, I try to make sure that is at least cotton, because that is the part that you really want to make sure breathe. So that's kind of how you can get a 2-for-1. But honestly and truly, I do prefer cotton underwear. In my opinion, they are a lot more comfortable, and just knowing that, you know, that area down there is able to breathe is very important to me as well. So when you're looking for your underwear, look at, you know, you can look at the tags, and try to make sure it's primarily cotton. Sometimes it says like 90% cotton, 10% polyester, something like that. But I try to make sure it's very high in the cotton amount, contrary to it to being like a 50-50, or even being very low in the cotton amount when it comes to like my day-to-day underwear. And that is about it. Those are just a couple of things that I wanted to list it that can be good for, you know, vaginal health, some things that aren't good for vaginal health. But I just want to talk about some of those things because I feel like sometimes when it comes to, you know, feminine hygiene, different things like that, they always talk about hygiene things, but there are different day-to-day household products that you can use, such as the apple cider vinegar. And then there's also things that can affect it that no one really talks about, like the sugary drinks and the intake of too much fatty foods that also do affect down there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something from it, got something from it, and all around thought it was helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching my video and coming to my channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next video.